Can't believe it, guys. But this is actually the conclusion of Group Stage for Titans League Season 2. It has been the most eventful group stage ever in Titans League. That said, it really doesn't mean that much, maybe, because there's only ever been one season before. But, you know, it's true. It's been crazy. We have some massive names going down. Names like Vinchester, names like MBL, names like Nikov and beyond, all relegated down to gold for the next season. This final series is win and get in fourth, or lose and get relegated down to gold. So it is a relegation series. And we've got Sitaux, who comes in here with 5 wins. And we have Barles, who comes in here at 5 wins. Again, one player will stay alive for the next season, and the other one will go down to gold. And we've got the Tatars for Sitaux, and we have the Byzantines for Barles. Both players are going to want to find those sheep towards the middle. Tatars obviously do have a bonus for that. And I really like the layout of Sitau's base here. This wood line is really going to help him if he wants to get walls down. That said, I mean, the map is also extremely good for Barles. He's got a helpful wood line too. And this map, you've seen a lot of walling and you've seen a lot of late game. But I really think that that's going to be the difference between the two today. I think Sitaux is the better aggressor of the two. But Barles is extremely capable in defense and taking it late game. And if we have 3 games that go to Imp at even economies, I favor Barles. If we have 3 games and like 1 or 2 of them goes to Imp with even economies, I favor Sitaux. That's the way I see this here. And I think with Sitau's style and, you know, the experience I've seen from him in this group, I think that Sitaux is my favorite. I'm going to lean towards a 2-1 result for him. And if it is a 2-1 today, I really hope it's going to be 1-1 going into Game 3, which would make it all the more epic. I do want to just say as well, so we're going to have quite a few things coming for Titans League. It's far from finished, so I don't want to give this idea that, you know, thank you guys for all the support, see you next year. I don't want to give that vibe with this, but it is very uncommon in Age of Empires 2 to have group stages that last this long. The whole format is different and unique and new, and, you know, it's very easy for people to just get hyped up about certain names. It's also very easy for people to get hyped up about a semifinal or a final, and that's all good. But what really makes this format special is the fact that you have the relegation fights like this, and we get to see players, you know, try and stay alive, right? And so I just want to say to everyone who's had an interest in the group stage format, I thank you for that, because that is what excites me about this as well. Also, holy sheep! Oh my god, he's got 11 sheep over here. Barles has got a couple too. I mean, Barles is going to have no shortage of food, but this is not only a lot of sheep, but it's also Tatar sheep for Sitaux. Sitaux could go fast Imperial on this. Holy crap. Okay, any bets right now on when he's going to make a farm? He probably will still farm when he has sheep, but I mean, he doesn't need to do that all that easily, or all that early, I guess. Anyways, Militia coming out now for Sitaux. And then Barles is actually just walling. And I think he seems to be thinking it'd be tempting to wall this. But I don't know, dude. I don't know. It seems risky. And also, it seems very risky to not even scout what Sitaux is doing right now. Like, I think Sitaux, you might see this vill and be like, oh, let's let it do its thing, right? Let's just make sure this villager's confident so I can kill it with the militia. So Barles may be taking some risks here, and that could tell you a lot of what he feels about the series. But then again, the map has been pretty closed off, and we've had lots of walling. But Barles... Oh, excuse me. He does have a loom now. So he will wall this. This is the safer play. I like that. He's got his scout waiting here. And unfortunately for him, he's going to have some work here because he's going to see the militia. And I love this position for Sitaux because life is so much more difficult for Barles to damage control. But let's see if Barles can do it. This is what we had said about the guy a couple moments ago, right? Can he damage control? Can he keep this out? It looks like he can. Also in the process, of course, not able to push any of his deer. Also in the process, maybe some idle time. Remember, this is a player who doesn't have as many sheep. So I think Sitau's economy should be more set up to go up to Castle Age if that's what he chooses to do. That said, I could see Sitaux playing into Feudal here. He's really got decision-making time around this population. If you're going to go up to Feudal Age, You do not queue up another villager after this. If you're going to go Castle Age, you queue up another Vill, and yeah, he's queuing up another Vill. Is this live? No, series is not live. Series was played today while I was casting other things. But Tato and Sitaux was played, I think, yesterday. I don't actually remember. But the order in which the games were all covered today is the order in which they were played, but this is not, like, physically live. Obviously, I have not seen the results, and I don't... So, again, I don't know the details on when it was actually played. But yeah, kind of sudden death, Adam. Yeah, they're both relegated if they lose. But yeah, I like Sitau's decision here. Nice and safe behind this. I really wish he would have just attacked the house. Just attack something and force Barles to do something. And look at this from Barles. Are you kidding me, bro? It feels so greedy here. Barles also not being able to fast castle off this is going to be awkward. It's just Barles, right? He loves to have walls. He loves to have space, and he figured this space would be helpful later on. And now Sitau's going to loop the militia over this way. Just realized Dave is muted. There's a weird bug right now. If you're not subscribed for whatever reason, you can't hear Dave. So if you would like to, you know, like hear Dave, but also have 100% of all the support come directly towards me, you can hit the overview tab. And then boom, suddenly you get to hear Dave. He's actually, guys, oh my God, can you hear that? He's singing Whitney Houston? What? Oh my God, his falsetto's incredible. Never knew. Just never knew. Props to you, Dave. Props to you. I can't do that. Can you stop, though? Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. That would be a funny troll if, like, I try and act like there's a co-caster the entire time when there never is. I'll save that one for another day. There's actually... just kidding, by the way. There's no Dave casting this one solo. Barles has gone for the classic full wall... make Dark Age farms, then rush eco upgrades build. Not exactly a classic build at all. It's an awkward one, but he's Byzantines and wants his walls and got his walls. So, we'll see. I would expect crossbowman for Sitaux, but I really think it's important that he gets some good damage done. Because I think Byzantines in late game, man. From their skirms to their halbs to their cataphracts, this feels very strong. I mean, Tatar's late game isn't bad. I think heavy cav archer and hussar is very strong. But, yeah, I think, again, the player that Barles is and the player that Sitaux is, we want to see Sitaux do some damage earlier. Not the biggest fan of the opening from Barles. That feels like maybe he was hoping for a map generation that would have allowed him to be a bit more closed off here, but at the end of the day, he didn't take as much damage as maybe he could have. That was really impressive here with the houses in the gate. It does need to be careful here, though. His scout is weak from the earlier engagements, and Sitau's looking for it. And then Sitau's going to need to be careful, too. Barles does have a spearman out. And Sitaux knows that, so Sitau's going to have to just stay away from the spearman. Yep, dodges it. Nice work, Barles, though. Sitau's on the way up. He's making archers. This is a clean build. As clean as it gets. I wonder if he'll make more than one archer, though. Honestly, guys, I think 2 years ago, drushing Fast Castle into Crossbowman made a lot of sense. But they made the Crossbowman upgrade more expensive, and I think rightly so. I think was the perfect nerf. I've been so happy with balance. Not as a whole. Obviously, certain civs exist that make me rage sometimes. But in terms of like the normal unit balance, it's been really good. The whole knight archer counterplay, all that stuff seems nice. But you're going Fast Castle and you got to spend 175 food and then 125 gold to upgrade crossbow. You would only have like 5 or 6 of them. I like this. Just add one archer to kill the spearman so your scout can chase down Barles' scout. And then just go cav archers. And also, with how much food income you've already had with everything, you could also just drop town centers. And Barles is clicked up to Castle Age now, but this is by no means impressive. And he's going to go 2 ranges, so Barles is going to look to gain more map control. Hi T90, have you had good feedback from the players about TTL promotion/relegation system? Well, I think it depends on the players, right? I think if you were to ask a player who's confirmed to be relegated right now, his opinion would be very different from someone who is been promoted and stayed alive. I'll put it to you this way. I have had a lot of people give a lot of feedback on this event. The majority, if not all the feedback that has been positive towards me with this event from players has all been silver and gold players. Which is really the spirit of the event, right? Like, the top players obviously great, but like, it's really important to me to give the silver and gold league players opportunities and a path. That's what I said when I announced it. And those are the types of players that have been reaching out to me, right? So, and that's what means the most, right? So I've got a lot of nice messages that maybe I'll share after the event. But yeah, certainly has been a lot of good feedback from them too. Sitaux would love how this game has gone so far. This has been as clean a game as you could really ask for. You do get new sheep from your town centers when you're Tatars. So able to take some additional sheep in this game. That's going to be like sheep number 14, 15, 16, something along those lines. Also is massing cav archers. He is giving up control, but he's giving up control for a pretty good economy. And he's even going to have heavy plow. So when he really starts to focus on the farms, which is going to be soon, his farms are going to last a really long time. Now, I want to credit Barles here for something. Check out his scouting, guys. Amongst everything that's been out there, he's actually got some great scouting, and he knows that TC is there. And while normally on this map, I think it's tough to go siege push, I think you could more than justify a siege workshop here and applying pressure on that TC. And he'll have upgrades coming in for his skirmishers. And actually might be crossbowmen as well. Anyways, he's got a mix of units. And look at him catch Sitaux out right now. Also, I'm pretty sure this is the second time I've seen that Sitaux is using Select All Army. What's really funny is, so I actually went on it's not romantic, okay? But I went on a walk with Sitaux and other people, okay, in Heidelberg. And we were, Sitau's friend was there, and we were, she was talking about, like, the struggles she's having, and Sitaux, we would coach her and whatnot. Anyways, she was talking about how her weakness is using Select All Army. And I was like, oh, no, you can't use Select All Army. Like, you're going to make mistakes and send your armies to the same spot and then run a bunch of units into units, like enemy units by mistake. So I remember a conversation where Sitaux was there, and Sitaux, I think, agreed with me. Or maybe I asked him if he did it, but there's been 2 instances today. One instance was 6 knights against Tato, and then an instance there where he 100% said Select All Army and just clicked them home. And he lost some units here, guys. And there's no cav archer momentum for him whatsoever. He does have a villager lead, but there's going to be idle time. It feels like a pretty, weird thing to talk about. I mean, it's not necessarily the worst thing ever, by the way, the Select All Army hotkey, but you do have to really pay attention to it. And I think it can form bad habits, which is maybe what I could consider that if it's not used properly. Now, for you or your uncle who plays this game, maybe they need something like that, but Sitau's got crazy speed. Good work from Sitaux there. Kills the archer. That was good harassment, though, from Barles. And Barles is on a lead skirm. And Barles dropping his 3rd TC right now. But, apart from killing some army and killing 2 villagers in this game, there hasn't been much more from Barles, and he still has been later to the town centers. I think he'll be loving the fact that he's going to have map control, though. Might not love it that there's siege out at the moment for Sitaux. So he runs away here with the skirmishers. Crossbows heads back to the woodline from Sitau's point of view. Obviously, the pressure's on. Prior to this, he got 3-0'd by Tato. Knows he has to win. What's interesting is we have no stone mining for either player. Makes a bit of sense for Barles not to do that yet. But he did TC the stone. And just the efficiency overall has been pretty low here for Sitaux over the last few minutes. Still should be more than fine, though. If you choose to have a 17 villager lead and a bit of inefficiency versus a 17 vill deficit and better efficiency, I think you always choose to have the 17 vills. Which comes back directly to this opening from Barles, which was a little lackluster. I like the stable addition here from Sitaux. 2 knights, and suddenly this becomes a problem. 1 knight, actually, because there's only 1 crossbowman in here, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe... I guess I was right originally. I don't know. As you can see, but that 1 crossbowman's actually doing a decent enough job. Barles going out of stable now. He's got monks for relics. He's also mining this gold outside his base. He's not actually TCing that, which is surprising. And I'm still waiting to see what Sitau's long-term unit comp is. He's got 1 Cav Archer, he's got 2 Knights, he's got a Mangonel, he's got a Scorpion. I have no clue what his plan is. He's just going to go for TC number 4, and boom. Obviously, having the relics is a pretty big deal. Barles is always quick to get those relics. And Barles now market to help balance the economy. We have armor now for Sitaux. But it will be crossbow and a couple skirms and then camels from Barles. So still think he could push out across the map. And now that he's got a stable unit, he could absolutely take out all the siege as well here from Sitaux. Sitau's going to see this. I guess it's okay that maybe you're going to lose the... Ooh, wait. Not enough from Barles yet. I was just going to say maybe it's better to lose the Scorpion than the Mangonel here. Units are so cheap for Byzantines, right? So you could flood the map, catch up on the boom, no problem. You can be behind by like 15 or 20 vills and just still flood the map just as much as the opponent. Good attack ground there from Sitaux, though. And camels don't do that much damage against siege. So this could actually not be the best engagement for Barles. He has the right idea. He just needs a little bit more army, and he splits away from that. That was sick. And yeah, maybe fall back, gather a couple units, and then push out here if you're Barles. Just wait, heal up. Also, again, love how he's looking for relics. This will be relic number 2 for him. Relic number 3 is here. 4 and 5 is towards the north. Second stable now for Barles as he'll make more camels. And Sitaux is getting +2 armor on knights. Still no stone for him. Still no stone. So that can sometimes be a negative if you want to position guys. But when someone isn't on stone yet, watch their eco balance. You're normally going to have a crap ton of food and gold villagers, which allows them to spam the knights. Both players have been able to get conversions with their monks. And it's a big shot from Sitaux. It's a double boom. Conversions will still happen. It's still very much a fight that Barles could win, but it'd be so much easier for him if he had the crossbow mass. That was a painful one. Again, the upgrades are going to matter a lot here for these knights. If there's 20 crossbows, it's different, but painful for Barles is he's going to switch primarily into camels, but that's not bad against knights. And that's also not bad against Tatars, because Tatars don't really have the best of answers against camels. They do not get full upgrades on their halbs. So a lot of players are hesitant to go into, the barracks. Barles backing away with crossbows. Sitau's getting good value from the fights because of upgrades. You're going to see that monk go down. We've got 9 knights, 4 camels on the field for Sitaux. We've got 5 camels with 10 more in the queue for Barles. He's really going to push this hard here. And looks like Sitaux is now backed off. He's going to sell. He's going to wait. He's going to click up to Imp. And Barles has got a window here. I'm still not completely sure what the long-term comp is for Sitaux. It's normally Cav Archers and Hussars with this Civ. Barles is making so many camels. He really needs houses right now. Like, if Barles can somehow place a castle in front of his gold, which is going to be awkward, I think, because of how he's placed his stables. But if he can do that, it'd be incredible. That's going to be a camel converted. That's unfortunate for Barles. What? What? Is Barles Teutons? What in the world? That should have been a camel conversion. Let's see about this time. Is this monk just... Does he not have enough faith? Okay, he learned the second time. There you go. He read the good book and figured it out. Perfect. Okay, Cav Archers are on the way for Sitaux. These knights will clear up the crossbowmen. Good work. Barles was expecting a lot more army here from Sitaux because of Sitau's upgrades. And the 15 camels for Barles would most definitely kill Sitau's army currently, but once we get higher Cav Archer numbers, that would change. There's the castle for Barles. Honestly, it's a garbage castle to place. It's just because he made the stables around the gold. That could hurt him. Can you imagine Cav Archer sitting here just because his castle isn't there? Might have honestly been worth it to delete a stable or delete the houses here. I don't know. Does Barles know about the relics and the other areas of the map? He knows about that one. He doesn't know about the one in the north. And in the north, there's also gold. Love this from Barles. Again, credit his late game. Outposting for vision. We'll know about the golds and the stones to lock down. We'll immediately leave to go get that stone. Finding a couple kills here from Sitaux. Sitaux seems a little tunnel vision for me. No outposting across the map, chasing 2 camels with this entire army, allowing Barles to get a couple pickoffs here and buy a little bit of time. Can you imagine if Barles goes here to that stone right now? How effective that would be? Sitau's an imp getting heavy camels, something I forgot that Tatars get, so I actually think that's worth it. A couple monks go down. It's good control here for Barles. Barles now killing villagers. Barles has been the only one who's killed villagers in this game. And this is why Barles was so defensive, because he's like, if it gets to the late game, I'm the better player. And Byzantines might be better as well. Oh boy, that castle needs to go up fast. Sitaux lost 8 villagers and about 30 were idle there. Barles is also going to grab Relic 3. Oh, build it with all the vills, man. Build with all the vills. Barles, build. He sees it. Build. Still raiding, still keeping some of these Imperial Age units in Sitau's base. And oh my god! Have you ever seen a worse fight for someone to open up imp with? Oh my, oh, the pain. The pain for Sitaux. That was a brutal fight for him. He's got cav archers and he's got heavy camel against just Castle Age camel, and he still continues to take bad fights. Boom. Camel converted, camel forced to be deleted. Great engagements for Barles as he's got 32 camels. He's just going to go camels for now. He might go skirms later, but just heavy camel is his plan. And look at Sitaux. He's like, okay, I got to push out. I got to do some damage. I got to raid. And the camels are on the stone. The camel raids. Patrols this way. Sees a castle. It's such a frustrating feeling. Doesn't have a single castle defensively right now, Sitaux. How's he going to deal with camel raids nonstop this game? This is brutal. And here he's being chased back. Getting more upgrades. And the camels are just shredding. 4 relics for Barles could easily be 5 too. Oh my goodness. And I think Sitaux is falling apart here, guys. I mean, I could see that Sitaux is falling apart. If he's taking fights that are this bad before imp upgrades are in for Barles, it's not going to get any better. I could be wrong. You know, right now Sitaux is the lead in terms of the pop. But with Byzantine camels being as cheap as they are, I think you need more cav archers in the queue. And Barles just sees everything. Right? And a castle here, he doesn't realize how good it is because the gold's close by, but the castle there is going to be perfect. So 16 cav archers for Sitaux. He's been waiting to get to this mass. He falls all the way back into his base. And it is true. Like, cav archers, when they get massed up, they take out the camels pretty quickly. The problem is the camels chew them up if they get in close. But now most certainly a position where Barles is going to need to eventually think about skirms. Remember, he had elite skirm earlier. And I love this from Barles. He's got vision everywhere. And he's just picking apart Sitaux on the sides. He's like, okay, here, I need to take this fight so I can finish this castle. Here, I'm going to raid. And Sitaux just is probably so frustrated right now because cav archers have to be in one position. If you don't have that mass with some siege, if you're not able to have a big enough ball where you can be threatening your opponent, they're just going to continue to do this to you. Can you imagine a castle here for Barles too? His castle setup is so good. And he also sees the gold. He also sees the relic. There's probably a monk on the way for that. This is why I felt like Barles is going to win this game. Even though Barles has such... even though Barles was so late to some of the timings. Good fight here for Barles. Stonewall from Barles. Loving it. I'm sounding like a Barles fanboy right now, but I really think his late game is incredible. He's truly... This is a masterpiece late game from him. And... I feel bad for Sitaux because I've been in this situation before where you're getting raided nonstop and it's super annoying and then you can't counterattack. That's sick from Sitaux. Nice quick walling. Camels are still going to get through though, and you still got to send units backwards. And look at this, like, all the cav archers? Well, if you're on that way, there's a castle too. Castle number 1 for Sitaux. The first castle he's placed in this game after losing 34 villagers. He's actually kind of getting desperate for wood lines, too. It's worth pointing out. Barles has been abusing that. And now, this is where, you know, some people say WWDD. Other people say WWVD. You know, what would Doubt do and what would Viper do, obviously. But what you want here in this position is you have camel skirm. You locate that castle. You mass 4 trebs. And you just, after you have them on the run constantly, you just wait for a position with those 4 trebs, and you just start banging down those castles. So it might not be yet, but it might be soon. We have Lycav now from Sitaux because he sees the skirms. He's worried. And on the plus side for him, obviously, you know, he's got a lot of cav archers now, and he already has a lot of food. So he can make the Lycav. But I think the missing ingredient here to Barles, is if he wants to win this game, is you wait for the trebs, and you just mass him in this north area. He's actually currently a bit overboomed, I guess you could say. He actually can't produce it because he's got so many units in queue and so many units on the field. We've got Silk Armor. Helps the Lycav. Also helps the Cav Archers. Okay, power of Tatars. Quick walls from Sitaux. Castle will go up. Barles has 5 relics. Barles has both the neutral golds, and he's Byzantines. Feels like if you've got the production buildings, you win this game, right? You can just make so many camels. Like so many camels and so many skirms. It should be insane. You just wait for those 4 or 5 trebuchets. Maybe even go for 6. And Sitau's food, it's disappearing now. Just because he's going to spend it on Lycav. And he's going to spend it on that Hussar upgrade. But those Hussars are not exactly going to do too well against the camels. And they're also not going to do too well when the Halb upgrade comes in. I think Barles is just kind of thinking ahead, though. I honestly think Camel Skirm is perfect just because you have the extra golds. You just have so much gold income that Sitaux will never have. And if Sitaux loses this area, it's game over, right? You simply cannot lose this position and still win this game if you're Sitaux. Guys, look at the late game. The wall in this vulnerable area, the castles everywhere, even a castle here, it's just so good. It's so good. Skirms will focus fire down those Cav Archers. And Barles is waiting. He's still just chilling out, waiting. Waiting for his moment. His resources are banked up. 2,500 gold in the bank. And yeah, Tatar Cav Archers are strong. But do you really want to be taking trades against Skirms? You don't. Not when you don't have relics and not when you don't have the additional golds. There's still more trebs on the way from Barles. And he knows everything he needs to do here. Just be patient, wait for the trebs, and then you send all your army here. Okay, I'm not sure about the timing, Barles. The timing is a little crazy, but I respect it. And he's just going to run over. He might lose a treb, but this is why you show up with 4 of them, right? You show up with a lot of them, and then all your units go here now. Sitaux cannot take the rest of the map from you because you have the castles. And if you both focus in this area, even if it's a 50-50 situation with the fights, Sitau's going to eventually lose his castles. Beautiful stuff. Also, full blacksmith upgrades for Barles, too. And producing skirms, producing halbs. 27 camels still seems like enough right now. And castle, even if it doesn't go down, obviously a lot of stone invested into repairing it, which means you won't have castles in future areas. Speaking of future areas, Barles sees this, guys. Barles freaking sees this. He's already making a treb for the castle that's at 20% on this side. Yeah, Sitau's got some crazy star power, especially for a player who's come up from gold. But make no question, Barles is still in platinum for a reason. He got 4th place last season, and he's fighting for 4th place right now. And David said, he was like, Sitaux had made quite a stink about, not being in platinum the first season, and then he obviously made it here. A credible performance in gold. And Dave made a joke like, well, he's got to, can he stay in platinum? It's been a crazy group, and I would have said Sitaux would have maybe even been 3rd, above Tato. Resources for Barles are insane. Sitaux still has so much army, but like this was job 1, right? Now your opponent doesn't have gold, and you just got to grind down those Cav Archers. The light Cav will not be an issue for you as long as the Cav Archers are gone. And maybe if you have to, just back up with the trebs here. Focus more so on this side. And just look at it. He's so good. Remember, and I think this is still true, right? If we have 3 games that go to post-stim, Barles wins the series, for sure. His post-stim play is incredible. But if we have 3 games and, 2 of those games end in Castle Age, I think Sitaux is winning 2-1. It's like a big gap between these players. Sitau's strong point is Dark Age, Feudal Age, early Castle Age aggression. Barles as a player just gets stronger the longer the games go. And that's also probably why he played into walls. It's probably also why he played into Byzantines here. It's a painful feeling. I do not know how you finish off the game if you're Sitaux. You've got Byzantine castles anywhere you go. And if you show up here, watch what Barles does, right? So Barles is like, okay, his army's leaving to address this. Perfect. Now I just push the other castle. It's impossible. You cannot win from here. Barles has done this perfectly since mid-Castle Age. I think the window for Sitaux was always going to be early Imp. Early Castle Age as well, there was potential, but he opted for the boom. And Barles even backing away with these trebs. He will still likely lose all of them. But pretty soon, Sitaux will have 0 castles. And the pressure's going to be on. Because both players will have known going into this series, I have to win or I'm relegated. Got 0 gold income right now, if you're Sitaux. And pretty soon, 0 wood income as well, right? Your wood lines can be rated by whatever, Barles chooses to go for. And Barles will have to save his trebs here. Don't want to lose those, even with all the gold in the world. He's going to kill villagers slowly but surely with halbs. He is focus firing with his skirms on the cav archers here as he sends more army to this spot in the form of halbs and skirms. And he just rolls away with his trebs. And here goes Sitaux. Runs past this castle. That castle has 6 kills. Runs past this castle. This castle has 4 kills. Runs past this castle. This castle's going to have 3 or 4 kills. He makes another castle. He's getting murder holes. That's so good. And it's also like, so well suited for Byzantines. This is a true Byzantines masterpiece, right? Do nothing fancy in the early stages of the game and grind out a victory into the late game. And these hussars can attack a market and maybe kill a few villagers. If you would have opened up this game in Dark Age, paused, and said, hey, Barles, question for you. Where do you want your castles? The only one where he would maybe disagree with is this one. Apart from that, and good job from Sitaux. He is going to get through here and kill some vills. Apart from that, every castle has been exactly where he would want it. I think the castle here is more than reasonable, though, because he knows that is still an open spot. But he's going to ram on this side now. Over here, still hasn't lost the trebs. Still, every time you look, the skirmishers focus firing. That's not easy, guys. If you just patrol in your army, the skirms aren't going to hit the cav archers. It's not easy at all. And if you skirms go too far forward, you lose them to the hussars too. So, yeah, I think Siege Ram halb on the sides just slowly takes out Sitaux. And Sitaux doesn't want to accept it yet. Yeah, 100 halbs in queue. And he has 2k gold in the bank, right? Barles is completely fine here. What a confidence builder too, right? Winning the first game. Sitaux playing on, like, because he's 200 population, but knowing he's dead for a very long time. I'd really be feeling like I had Sitaux on the ropes. Maybe you can go at him in game number 2. Like, all 3 games are played because it's still $40 per win, and every game still matters. But in this particular series, since it's the last series, we know that you have to win the series. So, 2-1 result either way, or a 3-0 result either way, the winner moves on, loser is relegated. It is funny, he's probably waiting for the food to get siege rams, but he's like, I don't have the food. But he actually has 100 halbs in queue, so if he canceled a couple halbs, I know they're cheap as Byzantines, but he would then have siege rams, but even that doesn't matter. But Sitaux just doesn't want to accept it right now. Also, farming underneath castles is always something you want to do in these situations. Might look weird, but, like, that is your safest spot for farms. Siege Ram! Come on, Barles. There's Siege Ram. So, yeah, the buildings will melt so much faster now. And if you send hussars to go deal with it, there's going to be halbs. And if you send all your army over here, you're just going to get grinded out on the other side, so... Sitaux doesn't want to accept it. He's got 81 farms. So 81 farms is not bad, especially when you can spam those Tatar Hussars. Still got 23 Cav Archers, but every time he loses one, it just gets further and further away from a possible victory for him. Barles has played the perfect game. Bombard Tower! Bombard Tower! The Black Forest strats coming out. Make it even more difficult to push this back. Yeah, you would definitely need Siege to deal with the Bombard Towers. You can't just be sending units into it. Slowly but surely, maybe buy a bit of stone and make a Bombard Tower here as well. Some patient play from Barles. Slow and annoying and frustrating to deal with. But seriously, like, Sitaux had a good game. Barles had a great game. And I think he played Byzantines one other time on this map, but I don't know if I really saw a lot of Byzantines from other players. Also, it's still so ridiculous on this patch how units can run through each other. But at least we have players who can play on Xbox now, so it's maybe worth the sacrifice. All right, Sitaux calls the GG, finally accepts it. I mean, his pop wasn't much lower. He's 176. Barles with the post-imp late-game masterclass. And the home map for Barles is Regicide Fortress, which is another one that tends to go late. Sitaux absolutely has to win the next 2 games. Otherwise, he's back down to gold. This makes things really spicy right now. Because if you would have asked me after the second week, I would have said Barles and Sebastian are out of Group D. And I would have said Sitaux would be in 3rd or 4th position. This is also a crazy stat. Look, so much food brought in here from Sitaux, but look at the golden stone. I really think Sitaux had the right idea initially with the knights and upgrades. I didn't mind that. But it shocked me how he went up to Imp and he had 0 on stone. Right? Like, he did not play in late game castles at all. And Barles had like 2 castles before he was even mining stone, I feel. And the other thing I need to credit Barles for was he dropped 5 stables and he said, all right, it's time to push. I've been passive all game. He's probably ahead of me. Let's take the map control. And he did. He hit the stone here. He was hitting the wood line here. And there was a massive difference in the imp times, but it didn't really matter, did it? Look, 3-minute difference, and it was Barles getting kills. And it wasn't just kills. It was distracting Sitaux, which allowed him to place castles everywhere that he did, get all 5 relics, which is pretty uncommon on in high-level Age of Empires 2. And yeah, just slowly whittle Sitaux down. A great game for Barles, the dream start. And the dream start for us too, guys, because I think Sitaux is going to be angry. Sitaux is going to be like, what? Good luck trying to boom and play save castles in the next game, bro. And we've got Barles playing as the Lithuanians in the red. Barles needs 1 more win. He can get the win here, or he can get the win in game 3, which would certainly be the juiciest drama. Sitaux playing as the Berbers. And we saw Sitaux play Berbers against Tato. He played him very well. He made a crap ton of camels. I think it was 125. This matchup obviously a little bit different, though, as the Lithuanians have solid pikemen and solid monks and lots of things to counter the stable units of the Berbers. I think both of these civs seem reasonable. The meta on this map has been a lot of monks and cav. I feel like both civs do decently well there. Berbers do a bit better with spamming the stable units because it's cheaper. They also have access to camel. Camel Archer can also be really strong in this matchup later on. I think Barles will aim to play defensive yet again, but he cannot play as defensive as he did in the first game, right? So this is going to be more of a test of his skill. And Sitaux he will know. If I lose this game, I am out. I go down to gold. And there will be a lot of big names in gold. Sitaux could possibly be one of them. The level has been so high. It's so consistently high throughout Titans League, man. It has been so fun and so refreshing to see it. Like, I feel like the first season was way more predictable. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Maybe we can speculate after the whole event, but I think the theme that I've noticed when I look at results is players who get 3-0'd really hurt themselves. There's been sets for Barles, like I remember he lost to Tato, for example, got 1 win. There's been many instances like that for Barles. Draken, for example, in another group, he had a 3-0, and then he lost 4 other sets, but he lost 2-1. Just getting those wins in the early rounds, especially when people are possibly warming up, is so important. And you hope for Sitaux, there are not moments flashing back to him of when he could have gotten wins against other players. But, yep, at the end of the day here, it's a pretty simple task. or a pretty simple situation, not necessarily task. You need one victory. And I think it'd be an amazing statement from Barles. Like, everyone's been hyping up Sitaux. Also, I don't know if Daryl's still there, but this is a little funny for me. So we've had a viewer. He shows up other times, but man, when Sitaux is going to be live, he has been hyping him up. And I remember, I think he won game 1 versus Viper the very first week. And Daryl was just, he was going crazy. Like, oh yeah. And then Viper won 2 straight games, and he was like, yeah, well, Sitaux, he was joking, of course, but he's like, he's just boosting Viper's confidence, you know. He's trying to lower people's expectations so he could smash him. But jokes aside, before the Sitaux Tato series, he was like 2-1 Sitaux, 3-0 Tato, 3-0 Sitaux, let's go. That didn't go very well for him. And, you know, now he hasn't been very chatty over the last hour or two. Was Sitaux losing 1 game versus Viper? Did he 2-1 Viper? I forget now. It's been a bit. I remember the Acropolis game was sick. I remember he lost the Nomad game. And I actually forget what was probably game 3 at this point. Tomas's is Ganji getting relegated back to gold. Ganji is going into the playoffs, as far as I'm aware. You don't need to worry for Ganji. I think he got his results that he needed. He should be safe. And we'll even see more of him. Sitaux staying home. Is he going to go Barles style here? Check this out. And Barles has kind of flipped the script. Barles is up really fast. Of course, players have their styles and preferences, and there are important things to talk about. But every player in Platinum can absolutely be aggressive. And I think it becomes a worry when you can only play defensive. That's when you get knocked back down to gold. Or you can only be super high aggro, and you can't have a better balance to it. Sitaux has been in some pretty big moments in his career. Obviously, the big thing for him, the whole narrative surrounding him when Titans League started was, yeah, many people seem to think he's a top 16 talent. But we used tournament results to dictate where we placed players the first season. He didn't have enough high-level tournament results. So he was placed into gold, and and now he's under pressure, and he says, I'm going to kill you, Scout. Beautiful play from Sitaux, and perfect timing, Sitaux. I was just going to say, you really wanted to show people what you're made of this season. And now you've got to put your money where your mouth is, man, and really deliver. I would be a little uneasy about life right now from Barles, because before you lost that Scout, you saw double Lumber Camp, and you didn't see Loom, which would indicate to me that my opponent was going to try Fast Castle. All that said, I don't actually think this is a Fast Castle, so I'm a little confused. And we have an Archer range opening for Barles. I think he originally wanted to go Scouts. But Archer switch seems to make a lot of sense. It always makes a lot of sense when you lose your starting Scout. I do not like going Scouts after you have lost your starting Scout, because it just takes you that much longer to get back to the strength you should have. But particularly against walls, obviously, being able to do some damage over top the walls is always really good. He is going to wall, and he's actually just now switching to the Shorefish. Man, this build order is very, very, very tight. This is 1 Lumber Camp, double mill. Whereas over here for Sitaux, it feels like this is going to be so nice for its economy. But I guess it's just like a delayed skirmisher or archer build for Sitaux. Maybe Scouts? I think Barles... I would worry if I were in Barles' shoes, let's say, that this would be some type of Fast Castle and that I haven't done enough damage. And I mean, it could be. But it also couldn't be. It was at 500 food there, and he just goes, let's get wood upgrade, farm upgrade, and add Scouts anyways. This would be super annoying, by the way. Starting Scout for Sitaux could kill this villager. Barles would be frustrated by it. He's going to have to quick wall here. Otherwise, he's going to be down a villager and a Scout. And Sitaux will know. Sitaux should absolutely kill this vill. He should just stay close. Oh! No way! Barles, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I thought Sitaux had that. Dang. Barles saves the villager. Now, obviously, Speedy Spearman could come over to deal with this Scout. It also could be fun to watch Sitaux try and chase this down. Meanwhile, we've got skirmishers and we've got 2 spearmen here. Barles doesn't see the stable, so he doesn't know it's going to be scouts yet, but I mean, he's going to have plenty of spears. He'll be fine to defend. Sitaux worried about something else, and he loses the scout. Yikes! Ugh. Pain, 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 pain. Not game ending or anything like that, but these are the small moments that can add up in a game. Killing a villager, keeping a scout alive. And Barles sends a new villager over there. The other one's a little traumatized. She's going to be on farm duty for a while. Is Sitaux now making a tower because of this pressure and needing his berries? And it just looks oh so awkward for the Frenchman. He got his walls down. Still hasn't been able to get any damage done, and it feels like he wants to surprise his opponent with the scouts. He's really being patient here. And trying to force down this tower without losing vills. He's Berbers. His vills are fast. He'll send the weak ones away. It'll be fine. And Barles is going to back away. Now, very important moment in this game. Sitaux, do you engage against this, or do you go raid? It's got to be raid, right? This doesn't harass you at all. It doesn't do anything. You've got to go kill units at Barles' base, where Barles will not have spearmen. Oh, man. Sitaux, make your move, buddy. Make your move. Go to the base. Barles is walling up. You could kill so much. What? Guys, he's really struggling to make the right decision here. Really seems to be unsure of himself. And that's got to be pressure, right? If this is a ranked game, Sitaux counterattacks every single time. He's like going foraging, and he's like, yeah, I've got to kill everything. But I don't know, man. That everything is like a couple spearmen and a couple archers. And if Barles actually is fully walled and Barles is in Castle Age way faster than you, I don't think Barles is going to complain. Obviously, if there's a hole in his wall, I could still die, though. This is a shocker for me. I don't understand the thinking. You're sinking yourself further in feudal for an army that is just an annoying little army anyways that's not going to do much. Barles will probably double check to see, you know, if he's walled at home after this happens. He will obviously lose all this. But there goes Barles to Castle Age. And Sitaux, I don't know, my friends. You're going to really need to work hard here in this game. The scouts are going to have to get value to scout the relics on the map. They're going to have to maybe be light cav later on. But we now are going to have fast Lithuanian spearmen for Barles, and he's going to just play towards pikemen. I love that decision. Just double checking myself. I'm not seeing any... Ooh. That's one of those that looks like a hole, but I don't think it is. If I could see the white box around the house when I clicked it. Barles would probably notice, right? I don't like Barles moving out without all of it. Well, it's fine. Yeah, he's going to kill the scouts. I didn't realize he had the full group there. And Sitaux is now 2 minutes away from the next stage. Actually, not as bad as I thought it would be. But yeah, my gut reaction here is that there's no hole. It just is one of those where it looks like it could be. There's definitely no holes on this side. Barles, you locked your gate earlier, buddy. So you might want to just pay attention to that. And is he going to go to the gold in the middle? I think he wants to TC here. We've seen a lot of that. TCing and monastery on the top of the hill. Yeah, it's exactly where he's going. Sitau's going to go knights into pikemen and monks. Rough. Rough stuff from him. You know, the opening could have been fine for Sitaux if he goes double tower. Now, oh, Sitau's like, I'm going all in. But guys, this is not the type of game that's well balanced for him. He's got 4 on wood. YOLO Cav can do it. But I don't know if there's ever been a better position for Barles to get a victory here in I'm gonna say it, like in all of Titans League group stage, early Castle Age, this is just the best situation you could have. Pikemen monks against 3 stables. A bit of an exaggeration on my part, obviously, but assuming no mistakes are made here, I advantage Barles. The TC on the hill, it wasn't on the gold, he wanted it more on the wood. Also make the monastery afterwards. Here he is with the pikemen. Gate is locked. Double house walling behind here, Barles. Sitau's going to go all in Knights. Here's Sitau's point of view. He has to do damage quickly. The extra scouts are going to be so helpful here to pick off any monks. But there he goes to kill the villager. He will actually kill the villager. Very nice. Doesn't lose the scout either. So nice work there. First villager kill of the game. We've seen examples where pikemen numbers, if they're not all grouped up together, will be killed by knights. This is a good example of that. Knights still 1v1 a pikeman. So I think you have to keep your pikemen grouped. And trickling in the pikemen is a little bit of a mistake here for Barles. The scouts still waiting. They're probably waiting for monks. Or they're hoping to get through if that gate opens when a pikeman's sent forward. Yeah, honestly, Barles doesn't know how committed Sitaux is to this right now. But if I were him, I would even consider a second monastery. Barles is quite good with monks. It would make a lot of sense here. Monk's going to hop out. Boom. He's going for a conversion. Sitaux has to run away. And there is a second barracks, actually, from Barles. I like that, too, right? I think, like, a double commit on pikes or monks is really important here. Oh, man, we might need to see damage control here from Barles. He doesn't have a ton at home, right? Here comes the attack. Those knights will break through pretty quickly. They have the attack upgrades. I don't know if the gate can be defended. Also, the quick walling there from Barles. He did lose a monk, but he killed the scouts. And now the knights from Barles, from Sitaux, are going to run through. Panic City for Barles. He's got the pikes. Here he's got monks. Can he pay attention to this at the same time? This is a lot of pressure from Sitaux. We said a lot of good things about Barles right now, but the fact is he's distracted right now. And whoa, I'm sorry for the lag. The aggression's paying off. When the pressure's at its highest, the pressure is paying off. Idle time galore. The pikemen can't come in because the new gate's being built, and the monk numbers have been taken out. Dang. And Sitaux do this. He's got 18 knights. Just Berber things, man. 18. Still, it's a slippery slope, right? Monks and pikemen, eventually it could change, but he just continues to produce. He's going to make his own monks as well, possibly. He's getting a couple more villager kills. You can tell that gate situation had Barles all rattled. And then here, the TC is going down. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 23 knights from Sitaux. He's actually going to do this? Holy crap, look how fast the TC is going down. And these knights are still running around. They still haven't been killed. Yeah, Lithuanian pikemen are faster. Who cares? Who even cares, dude? No conversion. Classic. No conversion. There's also a monk inside the TC that needs a conversion. He's going to try. The TC fire is not helping that much. Doesn't get another conversion. Oh, my God. These knights are still running around, Sitaux! What a game! And I think if you lose these villages, you lose the game, Barles. Oh my God, he still can't kill these freaking knights. God, what a comeback from Sitaux. The drama we wanted at the conclusion of this is probably going to come to fruition here. He still hasn't lost the knights. Oh man, honestly, like a stone gate here, and I really wonder how this game goes. A palisade gate looks really bad now. Can he finally kill these knights? It's actually tilting me now. I don't want to look at these knights any longer. Kill it. Thank you. Okay. But now, any monks you make will die. They will get no conversions. You've now lost a lot of villagers. And that's expensive. And if I'm Sitaux, I would probably think about a second TC. I don't think you have to continue to snowball this, but you absolutely could continue to snowball this towards the guy's base if you want. And the GG's called. What? Guys, pikemen is a really tempting unit, but you need the pikemen and you need the monks together, and knights with upgrades still dominate. And I'm going to take it one step further. I think if you're making pikemen, you at least need one upgrade. I think this situation was so good for Barles that he was like, oh, I just go 3 TCs and I win. Yeah, I just win now. Pikeman monk, easy. But I don't think he expected the commitment from Sitaux. Sitaux going 4 stables, and he was able to get to a number of knights is never really achievable at this point of the game in a normal game. He made 36 knights. There was 30 pikemen. There was, 8 to 10 monks, but the monks kept getting picked off, and the pikemen kept getting picked off as well. But realistically, I think if Sitaux doesn't break through here, this economy, it feels very strong for Barles. And then Barles can actually group up there on that hill. So all-in Knights against counters in Monks and Pikemen. Sitaux makes it happen anyways. To keep himself alive, we have an important game number 3 on Regicide Fortress. There's $40 difference in terms of the prize pool, guys. At least from the winnings of the game in this next game. But, like, this is beautiful. The winning player, he stays in Platinum for the next season. The other one is relegated. Sick. Holy crap. Honestly, a stone gate there for Barles would have looked so good. I've seen it many instances. Like, I think going 3 TCs against the Knight all-in is very dangerous. Sometimes it's better to go 2 town centers because you have a lot more wood and food floating for pikemen and upgrades. You can tell that Sitau's eco, it was fully dedicated towards that build. Crazy, crazy stuff. Interesting stat from someone in chat. I, of course, don't know if this is true or if I can verify it, but Sitaux hasn't played Regicide Fortress this entire tourney. But I think he predicted what Barles would go for. Barles has played Regicide Fortress a lot. Barles has had some crazy wins. Barles has gone for the Bohemians. And I feel like the Italians are considered maybe a slight counter pick, right? With the Condo Tiero, Bohemians, their gunpowder is going to be more awkward to utilize here. I think Italians are also good on Regicide Fortress. We mentioned earlier in the stream that Italians aren't really bad on any map. They're great on water maps. I think they're good here too. Cheaper to go up to each age. Genoese Crossbowman is a great unit. Don't know how relevant that unit will be in this matchup. But still, you have the castle for it. And this is for promotion. Or, I guess not promotion. This is for staying alive in relegation here. But a couple tiny things here. You always use your scout to bring in the boar, and you use your kings to scout the map. Castles are always towards the front, though, so you don't want to run into your opponent's castle and lose the king. That'd be devastating. There's 2 neutral golds. So as we watch the players bring in their resources, and everything looks pretty clean so far. Yep, looks perfect. One of the neutral golds is in the south. The other neutral gold is in the north right now. And Sitau's already found that. The relics seem pretty fair. I'm not seeing 5 of them. Oh, no, I am. Sorry. The camels are protecting it. Neither... You know what it is, guys? This is like something in a scenario where you get to select your civilization before you play the scenario. And this relic is only for camel civs. Bohemians can't make camels. Italians can't make camels. If you try and get access... If you try and pick up this relic, you will instantly die. It's some weird trigger we've added. Those camels are looking pretty dope, though. But yeah, that is going to be one of the relics. Looks like the map gen is extremely fair. You've got 3 relics along the middle of the map in like a belt. And then 1 in the north and then 1 in the east. And then the final thing to mention on the map in terms of consistency is 4 tile golds forward right next to the castle. 4 tile golds forward right next to the castle. And we don't have mirrored map gens. That would be bad for the game. I'd be very much against it, but we try and make them as fair as possible. This is pretty darn close. And I can only imagine the nerves right now, because these guys would have known exactly what type of result they would have needed. And fortunately for them, they didn't really have to depend on others' results too much. So they just need to get those victories. Everything's panning out pretty much as I would expect based on the Civ bonuses, right? Bohemians, they don't have any eco bonus they could really work with right now. Free gold mining upgrades will kick in Feudal and Castle. Italians, cheaper to go Feudal, then also cheaper to go Castle, so they'll go up a bit faster here. But yeah, I think hand cannons is just not a unit you really would want to make if you're Barles in this game. And I think... They paused. Sitaux said, didn't put Regicide. Does it change anything? Barles says, don't think so. Okay, go. I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to. It might be the resources, but the resources are Regicide resources. There's 2 ways to set Regicide. You can go Regicide mode at the top. There's a drop-down. And then there's also a checkbox. And to my knowledge, the checkbox doesn't set the resources. I'm pretty sure Sitaux doesn't know that. It just gives you a king. And it's Regicide, but it doesn't change the resources. So this is completely fine. Sitaux maybe felt something was off, or I don't know. Maybe Maybe it just dawned on him here, but he clicks up to Castle Age, and for a player who's never played Regicide Fortress yet, it's looking pretty good for me. The only thing that is missing is 2 villagers walking to and from the stone. It doesn't have to be 2, but typically it's 2. Because you have 150 stone with a Regicide Fortress start, and if you want to go 3 TCs, you need to collect 50 stone. He may choose to buy the stone, which some people do, but especially since your stone is close to the gold, I think you just walk there. And if he doesn't do it, I think I'm safe to assume that that is intentional, and he wants to go for a faster imp with only 2 town centers. Or it's just a big mistake, and he's going to have to buy the stone later. So, now, buying the stone isn't bad, but you will oftentimes see people want to buy food, which Barles has already done, by the way. He bought food. So that's really helpful for getting food to create vills. So yeah, I think I pretty much talked about everything that I could talk about here. To me, it looks like Sitaux is going to buy the stone because he's going to freak out and realize he didn't collect it. Not necessarily game-changing, but worth pointing out. And this is the home map for Barles. He is favored. It's a 1-to-1 series. Play all 3. Let's go, people! Oh, man. There's tension in the air. Oh, my goodness. Is it the humidity in Florida, or is it the tension of the series? Probably both. What's up, Killer Cow? Yeah, man. 8 hours of casting. 8 hours, 20 minutes so far. It's been a long day. Thanks for appreciating it. Thanks for stopping by. And Sitaux buys the stone. Okay. So the only world where this really bothers me, and actually I can already tell you it's going to be an issue, is that he now can't buy food. Because he even pulled villagers off of gold for this TC. So if he has more idle TC time, we look back to this whole little conversation we've had. I also don't love this town center because it's a bit of a target. I would have preferred he TC here, if anything. I mean, it's not next to a gold or a stone, but it's not the end of the world. Monastery opening for Barles. Barles will be looking for relics. Both players have their starting scout. Both players going for relics. And we even have... Oh, whoa. The Hussite wagon. How many other people were surprised that Backed went for elite Hussite wagon versus MBL in that Cuman Bohemian game? I mean, I thought we'd see like 5 wagons. I didn't think we'd see him upgrade them. The unit seemed really strong. Really hard to kill. I think the beauty of it is you don't know how many units you need to make to kill it. And you need redemption to convert it too, which is not so easy for the monks. Did Sitaux see the flag there? Yeah, so that's the king. You wouldn't ever really try and snipe it now, but in the event that he's dying later on, he might try and go there. Guys, this is going to be the game where Sitaux kills the king and comes back, and it's a crazy game. I'm telling you, he saw it, okay? The prediction's going to be epic. Also, on this patch, you can't block units anymore. Thank you, DE, for that. Scout ends up getting the kill, and Sitaux gets away. It tilts me that patch changed it, and it tilts me that this important game could have affected that moment, and that we've had various instances where that has been affected the games, but it is what it is. I hope they fix it, because it's been bad. I so badly want to get excited for patches. I really do, after all this time, but I just can't. Anyways. Sitaux's been fine with his booming. Currently, he's at 12 farms, just seeding some now. And we've got 12 farms as well for Barles, so pretty even there. Sitaux also does have his wood upgrade, which is looking good. Also, mining stone pretty heavily right now. So could be thinking about a second castle in the middle of the map. Right here would be epic, right? And Barles' food truck. Just waltzing around, driving around, uphill, downhill. And Barles is going to bring in that relic most likely. He will also get this. He actually has left it here. Which is, I guess it's kind of smart. I mean, the gold would be nice, but that's a freebie for you, right? You're going to get that anyways. One thing the patches have done is make night pathing actually really good now. Well, yeah, because they can run through units, right? It's not proper pathing. You cannot block any units anymore. And scouts run through each other. Like, units just collide through each other, which is also why units have gotten stuck in houses and various buildings, because they're actually even running through objects they shouldn't. They Yeah, it definitely can benefit knights for sure. I don't know if it's good to say the pathing is better. Because it's certainly unintended, I think. But okay, a little bit of revenge here from Barles. Genoese crossbowman doesn't do much damage at all there without upgrades. And we have Fervor now too, which will make that economy explode for the Bohemians. Faster villagers with that. And so it is currently 1 relic. Make it 3 relics to 1, actually. Barles is going to have 3, and he's going to run over here. Sanctity's in for his monks. Fervor as well. That also applies to the Vills. I don't think Sanctity matters as much for the villagers right now because they're not being raided, but just things to think about. This wagon, dude. This one chonker is just going to run across here. 4th TC for Sitaux. Whoa. It's not extremely uncommon on Regicide Fortress to see that 4th town center. And this Genoese crossbowman is getting shot at. And he's a beast. He's so confident, you can just tell. Like, I got this. I'm faster. I can run. This is why I don't skip cardio day. Ooh, Barles paying attention. Sitaux is going to lose that scout. That should be a conversion. Considering all the upgrades he has, that's a conversion. Yeah. Not always. So it's probably worth the risk of your Sitaux. That is not a mistake because he doesn't have anything else. But I was expecting that to be a conversion there just because of all the upgrades that were in. Great awareness from Barles. And now he sees the Genoese crossbowman, and this guy's not finished. This guy really... Bam! Oh! This guy wants to kill that monk. Look at him go. All right. Resources climbing for imp for both players. Eco is close. And well, guys... Feels like Barles would have dreamt of this the night before, right? The score is 1-1. Everyone has doubted me. And it's my home map. I've got Bohemians. I've got resources to go imp. He probably didn't incorporate the forgetting about this monk into the dream. But maybe it's like a dream that changes to a nightmare and then changes back to a dream, you know? Okay, seriously though, Barles. Are you going to move this guy? I want to move on to the next topic. Are you going to move him? Hello? He's imping. He's also making another Hussite wagon. And look at just the small things that Barles does, right? Keeping an eye on the middle, making outposts, because these are the areas of the map that become the most important. Oh, and the Genoese crossbow switches sides! I don't blame him! I don't blame him at all! After seeing his buddy get converted over here, he kind of felt like that'd be a pretty cool thing. Here come the Vills for Barles, as he'll be thinking about a castle. He doesn't have the stone for it yet. He should be researching chemistry right now, by the way. He's probably going to click it, and bada boom. Boom. Look at the timing. He'll have chemistry completed right when he hits in. Perfect. Buys the castle. You have to imagine we're going to see a siege workshop for bombard cannons. But what's his support unit going to be? Also, old man. What are you doing? Now, right now, you would be correct to get a little worried for Sitaux, okay? Barles is going to have 4 relics, assuming he remembers this guy exists. Barles has a lot of momentum potential. And Sitaux is later to the Imperial Age. However, Sitaux does have condos. And that was the unit that he probably picked Italians for. Barles needs to sense that and not make hand cannons. He needs to go Arbalest. We saw this in Kingston versus Miguel on Arena. Instead of hand cannons, you just go for Arbalest. And Arbalest, very strong. Sitaux didn't know about this until just now. I'm sure he's really worried. And the pressure's on. I think condos can still work with your own bomber cannons and with your own trebs, but you need a bunch of them. And, you know, Arbalest is expensive, so it's going to need to be something that you make over time. Okay, 4th relic is now in. That's awesome for that guy. I'm really happy for him. Hand cannon opening for Barles. Also a treb. Also no bombard cannon yet. All pretty expensive things to make. I like the positioning of the barracks here, and I like the positioning of even this castle for Sitaux. This is giving you your best chance. You've got an incredible economy. The second you're imp, you can spam condos, and man, are they fast. Pavise needs to come out of one of your castles, because it does apply to the condos. And what, Barles? He doesn't see the castle. I've been saying it for a month. The castle's always on the front. It's always on the front. Every single generation. Yeah, probably annoying for you, okay? All right, pro players, but like, come on. There we go. I mean, he could have been trebbing that castle down for so long. Going for the town center instead just doesn't feel all that strong at this stage. Also, he's getting ballistics. I know he made hand cannons, but I still think he's going to go arbalest. But he hasn't clicked the upgrade. The upgrade's pretty expensive. And there's Pavise for Sitaux. And there's Imp Armor for Sitaux as well. And Sitau's like, you know what? You didn't take out my castle. You're going to regret that, bud. Here he goes. Good job here from Barles. So now Barles knows, right? Like, if Barles wasn't making archers before, he will now. And Barles will actually defend this. The castle fire is still pretty good. The hand cannons were good enough. Now he's trebbing down a tower. I mean, oh man, the pressure must be so crazy right now. And here I am talking about these small things, but they're not small things, right? Remember all the big things we talked about with Barles in that Ghost late game? All the proper late game decisions. He's got to be careful here that he doesn't waste a good, important time window. He has a bombard cannon on the way. Sitau's making petards? Yo, kill the King Sitaux and I'll love you forever. I will fly to France and kiss you on the forehead, bro. Actually, I won't do that. That'd be pretty weird. But I'd be tempted to. Is he really gonna go for the King Snipe? Oh my god. Normally I would say, don't get your hopes up, but my hopes are already up. This is nuts. Because I think that the Arbalest Bombard Cannon play eventually kills the condos, right? As we've mentioned, I just think that it's so much stronger than what the condos can do. There's still 30 condos, so we don't really know. The petards are just chilling there. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been surprised by the condos before. And Bombard Cannon's still alive, though. Bombard Cannon able to snipe the trap. Sitau's desperation is going to rise more and more. There go his petards. Remember, earlier, guys, I can't believe he's actually going to try it. Because I pointed out that he had scouted it. Also, condo here. Just buy time. Buy time for the group. Yes! There's so many ARBs in queue right now for Barles, though. If he just had a couple more ranges, he'd have like 40, 50 ARBs, and that's when you can't touch them. Oh my god. Wait a second. This is good, too. I'm not sure who it's good for, though, because Barles will see the petards. He can also petard the castle foundation. That'd actually be sick. That's more of a... Like, you know that's going to happen anyways. You deny the castle. And then... yeah, okay, you deleted it. Oh my god. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Scouts down here, who cares? Petards are on the way. Petards are on the way. If he kills this king... No, the king is running. Oh, Barles is too attentive. Oh my god. I need to see a doctor. I need to see a doctor. I was freaking out. Sick play from Barles, though. I mean, that's just great overall play. You never see players go for king snipes. But I think he recognizes how bad this is and how that's, you know, and he feels like he had to do it. This is good from Sitaux. He's been stealing some of that gold. And Barles was very distracted, but still holds the middle area. Still can push and still has the answer to condos. You would have to go skirms right now if you're Italians. Condos are good against gunpowder. They don't have that much pierce armor. And Arbalest are going to shred them. So Barles, you're going to have to maybe castle the sides or something. But my dude, just push mid. Don't worry about anything else except camping these Arbalests next to these bombard cannons. Sitaux, you need to distract the crap out of him. And that's exactly what he's going to try here. This is a I'm going to kill you castle. The type of castle that maybe he feels like he needs. But he spotted this. This is actually really smart. Because otherwise you'd have to send units here, right? Dropping a castle here means that you can continue to focus on this push. Pufnitz is on the way. It's going to be even tougher to stop. But I'll tell you what, man. Sitaux. He's still got a lot of condos. Maybe a little too stubborn not to try and switch into anything else, but he will have his own bombard cannons now. This will not accomplish anything right now, though, for Sitaux. He will just run into the castles. Do you see that, though? Monk running away with the relic. I like it. Also, Sitaux got a shot a second ago on that cannon. Dude, no. Split? Can you run in here with this many condos? He's going to try. He's going to try. He feels like he has to. Now, it's good micro from Barles because there was a bombard cannon chasing these Arbalests. But, dude, this is a massacre. Barles, you don't even have to move. Man, these aren't Huskarls. You're going to kill your own. Oh, my God. Barles is owning him. Oh, and even the bombard cannon went down back here. That might be it, guys. Condos aren't free, right? Condos cost resources. It's 4-1 with relics. There's not a ton of gold control for Sitaux. He doesn't have any other unit teched into. And Barles has Hufnitsa now. And we're going to see one more attempt from Sitaux. Will we see the rare instance of researching treason in a pro game? Because he tried before. It would be here, though, and I just don't know if that's achievable. I don't know if he can get there. Barles will see this the whole way in, by the way. He knows about this, and I think a couple walls here, beautiful little gate action. He will complete that castle anyways. He can continue his push, though he might be concerned. So temporarily could just pull his Arbalest to the side. Sitaux he's going to lose this game. Unless he somehow does something, he is absolutely going to lose this game. It's so silent. This is so ridiculous. The scout has 8 villager kills? 7? Scout raid? Hype? In post-im? No upgrades? Barles must be looking around right now with concern, realizing... I wonder if it's even worth it to upgrade, like... Oh my God. Wonder if it's worth it to upgrade into, like, guard tower right now? It probably won't do it, but... Oh my God, another attempt. Again, we've seen this many times before. Condos as an attempted counter. Oh, he gets in the middle. The patch is certainly helping here. Condos, all right. But still, just taking way too much damage from the Arbalest. Still costs too much gold for what they're accomplishing. KD for Barles is nuts. The castles are also helping. Hasn't lost a cannon here yet. Loses one. Oh my God, wait a second. Barles killed his own units. Oh no. Oh no, what's happening? Oh my God. Dude, it is such a shame though that Arbalest are just so trash against melee units right now. Because you could just slide right into them. That is 100% a result of the patch that happened. I still think it would have been a fairly decent fight there for Sitaux, but I've seen a couple instances with it today, and the stakes have been so high today, so it's a little frustrating to see, but holy crap, man. And bombard cannons need to be protected. Sitaux, you just got a gift, dude. You just got a gift. It's not, you don't have to return one. It's not Secret Santa, bro. Oh, jeez. Oh, man, that was costly. Remember, he doesn't have a lot of gold at the moment. His petards got sniped by the castle and fortified wall from Barles, and Sitaux just taps out. He calls the GG. He knows he's finished. And Barles, he will be 4th place. Barles will be back in Platinum for the next season. And Sitaux, he gets relegated right back down the gold where he performed so wonderfully in Season 1. Honestly, guys, you know, the series was pretty clear for me from the start. And we can always be surprised. But what I stated was, if we've got 2 games that go late game, if we've got 2 games that go imp, or sorry, more games that go imp, the more wins that Barles would achieve, basically, is what I had implied, and he didn't prove me wrong. His post-imp play is so good for Sitaux. I think Italians was a little bit of a gamble. He did correctly predict that his opponent would go Bohemians. However, you know, Bohemians can still go Arbs. I think Arbalest is more than doable versus the condos. Barles had 4 relics. Barles had the castle control in the middle. And he probably felt like there's no way I lose this game as long as I control that middle area and get to my unit composition. There were other civilizations available for Sitaux from his draft that he could have maybe tried, whether it be the Cumans or others. Ultimately, I think that, you know, that neutral map, that game 1, was always going to be such an important victory in a series like this because the players are very different, right? One loves the open maps and aggression. The other one does not. And, you know, that game 1 was Ghost Lake, where Sitaux had a big lead, and Barles was able to bring it back with a late game masterpiece. So game 1 was honestly the deciding game, even though it was first, at least in the way I see it. And congratulations, Barles, man. People continue to write him off. No one's hyping up my boy Barles. And he gets 4th place yet again. What was it with 8 wins? 8 wins, I think even more than he had in the first season. And in a tougher group, too. He had a group with Viper, Tato, Sitaux, Beleza, and then himself, right? It was actually more difficult this year, I think, than it was in the previous year, and he still got really nice results. That is the final series of group stage. I want to say thank you, everyone who watched all the group stage games. It was awesome. We will have the following things coming up for Titans League before Season 2 concludes. We will have 4 best-of-5s in golds, which I will be covering. Those 4 best-of-5s are all deciders. They are basically qualifying best-of-5s for Platinum next season. Oh, and I forgot about Sebastian. Thank you. After that, we will have 4 round of 12 games between 2nd place and 3rd place from all the Platinum groups. They are going to be moving on then to the quarterfinals, which we'll also cover as best-of-5s. Then there will be a day of semifinals, which are 2 best-of-7s. And then there is a day of a final, which is a best-of-7. Then Titans League is concluded. So a lot of stuff coming to the Extras channel on YouTube. So if you want more casts, obviously the stakes are only going to be higher. And yeah, it was a really satisfying conclusion to group stage for me as the underdog got the victory there. But again, I really cannot consider Barles much of an underdog. He continues to be so consistent, and he seems like the perfect group stage player because he rarely gets 3-0'd. If he's losing, it always felt like he was grinding out a victory here.